everybody? Welcome back to another vlog. So today is the day we are driving in a brand new market. I've never wholesaled anything in here before. Some of my buyers, they buy in this market, but we're gonna try to go driving. This is the first time I've ever driven in this city. I mean, I've been here before, but never driving for dollars for any real estate needs. So we're gonna start off our day by going driving for dollars. And I want to also express to you guys that don't be afraid to go around and drive. I know a lot of people are talking about, oh, you know, driving for dollars doesn't really, you know, you can't really get any real good deals out of it. You can't find good deals driving for dollars. And that's just totally untrue. The reason why I say this is the majority of all my deals, all the deals I've ever done, the majority of them are driving for dollars. The only time that I don't get something from driving for dollars, or I get something other than driving for dollars, is I'll pull a list on PropStream for vacant land and I pick up a bunch of vacant lots. That's the only other reason I pull lists, is just to pick up vacant lots or stuff that doesn't really end up on my driving for dollars list. But so far, I mean, I haven't driven since December. All right, so we're in January. It's January the 20th, I think, today, or I think it's beyond the 20th. What is it? Yeah, today's January the 21st. So January the 21st is the first time I've gone driving for dollars in about, I'm gonna say 40 days, 30, 40 days. So we are gonna target this area. This town has only about, I'm gonna say 10,000 people total in the population of the town. So I mean, it's a pretty small town, but what makes this town special is the fact that there's a casino popping up. So because of the casino popping up, all of a sudden there's an explosion of growth. People are moving here at an alarming rate. People are building houses. People are flipping houses out here because they're trying to run away from Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is becoming overly populated. And I mean super overly populated. There's too many people there. You know, people are not able to afford to live there just because it's getting so expensive. And it's pretty wild, guys. It's pretty friggin' wild. Because a couple of years ago, nobody wanted to come out here. And when I mean nobody, like absolutely nobody. They wouldn't buy anything out here. You could buy a house here in this little city for like 4 or 5 grand. Talking about a rundown house, of course, not something really nice or fixed up, but you can still buy a house here for under 100,000, and you're what, 40 minutes away from Charlotte. And while that might not seem, or that might seem like a long car ride, you got to think about it like this. If you're working in Charlotte, making Charlotte money, but then you are saving like a ton of money on your mortgage or your rent, because you can still rent a house out here for, you know, under $1,000 a month and be in a decent area. That's pretty good. You're saving like $400 to $500 a month, and you're making more money in return. But does it really justify the long car ride? Meh. You know, it all depends on what your tolerance in a vehicle is. Like me, I can't stand driving for a long time unless I'm driving for dollars. When I'm driving for dollars, I don't care about anything. I'll drive all day, all night, just because I enjoy picking up these properties, because I know what the effort is going to turn into. This is going to be, you know, let's say I drive today and I pick up 600 houses, which is the goal. One of those 600 is going to be a deal, and I'll make, you know, 5 grand. So why not do it? Oh, look at that. So we got a demoed house over here. I wonder what they're going to do with it. Did it burn down, or are they demoing it? I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got my trusty camera today, and that's what I'm talking about right there. What happened there? I took it down just in case, you know, it turns into something, but we'll see. Now, of course, I am using Deal Machine. I love Deal Machine to death. It's one of my favorite things to use. Oh, look at that. This is another one right here. Let me make sure I got the right address. It's 14. There we go. So, oh, look, there's a little flip right here. Somebody flipped this little tiny house. And then you got some newer properties. If you know me, you know that I love driving for dollars with Deal Machine. I won't use anything else, just because I mean, I'm been doing this for so long with Deal Machine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, here I am trying to find as many properties as I can, and I want to be efficient, of course, and using Deal Machine helps me be efficient. Oh my god, it scared the hell out of me. It's like there's a zombie over there hanging from a tree. I thought it was somebody looking at me. It was like a big junk pile outside. What we're primarily looking for out here, we're looking for properties that are extremely distressed. We're looking for extreme distress. The more distressed, the better. That way we can find some good opportunities. Sorry guys, I'm over here getting distracted, looking at certain things because I was just wondering what this big old property is to my right. Oh, look at that, somebody's got some chickens. Like I said before, I love using Deal Machine. I won't change from using Deal Machine just because it's an absolute great tool. I have been using it for over a year now. Actually, my 1-year anniversary, I think, just came up last month in December. I've been using it for a year, and it's been worth every single penny. I can't stress how much I love Deal Machine because of it. I'm gonna say I've spent at least $2,000 or $3,000 on Deal Machine, and the results have paid for themselves. I closed over $200,000 in assignment fees last year, and in this month alone, I closed half of that, basically. So I mean, has Deal Machine paid for itself? Oh yeah, 10 times over. Maybe I could say even 1,000 times over. It was worth the investment. Now, of course, did I get anything right away driving around for dollars? No, not at all. I drove for dollars, I'm gonna say November of, it was either November or December of 2019. Drove around, picked up as many properties as I could, and then I would say January of 2020, I was able to talk to somebody who was interested in selling. We wrapped it up under contract and we took it to the closing table. It was as simple as that. We closed on it I think second week in January. So from an effort of 2 months ago, texting, calling, ringless, voicemail, then we got our deal. We made 10 grand on it, and I was very, very happy. I was like, man, driving for dollars works. We just have to understand how to use it. Now, you can't just go driving and pick up 10 properties. That doesn't work at all. I'll tell you straight up. If you're gonna go out here, pick up 10, pick up 50, pick up 100, maybe 100, you could get something out of it, but the best way to go driving for dollars, go pick up 1,000 properties. Go pick up 2,000 properties, 3,000 properties. Right now, in my Deal Machine, from November until today, I think I have about 4,000 properties, and I still want to meet my goal of driving for dollars and pick up at least 15,000 properties before the end of what, June? Actually, I want to do it before the beginning of June. I think in one of my videos from back in November or December, I talked about it. I think it was my driving for dollars video when I was in Charlotte, of how many leads I want to pick up driving for dollars. Because really, this is extremely efficient. Yeah, if you're gonna try to do this or trying to scale this up, you can, but you can't. You can't do it by yourself, and you're gonna have to hire people, or find people who would be interested in doing it. I myself, I do plan on trying to implement some type of maybe giveaway or prize to encourage people to drive for me. I think that would be something cool, or even pay somebody to drive for me, because let's say I paid $1 a lead to go around and pick up every single vacant house that I can find. So you're looking at $1 a lead. Somebody picks up 1,000 leads for me, and I end up employing a team that picks up maybe 10,000 leads for me. Yeah, that's $10,000 spent, right? 10,000 leads, 10,000 vacant house leads at least. What can I do with that? Like, I can go turn around and turn that $10,000 that I just spent on picking up all these houses, also the time that I didn't spend doing it, I could target these 10,000 people, and I could probably pull like 50 to 100 grand out of it. So spend 10,000 to make, possibly 50,000 is a decent deal. But enough about my yapping. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with this driving and see what I can pick up and how many properties I can pick up. It's 9:18 in the morning. I started probably a little bit before 9, and we'll see what we can do, what we can pick up, and how many houses we end up with. Now, I am also taking down vacant land because we are interested in building out here as well. So let's see what happens. Let's get this all wrapped up. And another thing I'm gonna say is, after the 30-day challenge, I'm not going to stop my videos. Whatever I pick up in this 30-day challenge, like if I pick something up under contract or I end up talking to somebody, I'm gonna fill you guys in from literally the beginning to the end and to closing. That way you guys can get an exact idea of what it is that we are doing and how we're doing it. So yeah, let me turn around and get out of here, and I'll come back to you guys in a little bit. All right, so not too bad. This little town has a population of around 10,000, and I think I picked up, what, almost 1,000 homes. Not only homes, but vacant lots too. So it's crazy, man. I never thought that I'd be able to pick up that many out here, but apparently there's a lot of boarded up houses, a lot of messed up houses too. Look, we passed one right there. I don't know if you can see that blue one that we just passed, but it's about 1:50 in the afternoon, so I'm about to go home. I'm tired of driving. I actually have an appointment that we're gonna go to today. Phone's ringing off the hook. You can hear it over here. This is from the ringless voicemails that went out, or voice broadcast that went out. So my partner right now is probably handling that and calling these people back. So not too bad of a day, I would say. I'm gonna get back home and look at the text messaging that went out this morning. I haven't had a chance to, and I forgot my my iPad, so I can't look at it. And man, this thing is going crazy. Look, right now I sent out, let me see, sent out an RVM 5 minutes ago. We've already had about 18 phone calls, which is actually above normal. But yeah, so not too bad of a day, I would say. I actually can't wait to hit this area because I also saw a few new builds by a guy that I know. He's actually a realtor, and he's been building houses left and right. So I mean, that's a good sign too, that he's investing over here, and he's trying to make some money. Let me silence this thing because it's driving me crazy. And then we're gonna go on an appointment in about, I'm gonna say at 4 o'clock, so 2 hours from now. So I'm gonna go home, probably take a bath because I stink. I've been sweating in this car for like since what, 7 this morning, and we're gonna see what the rest of the day brings. Pretty excited though. I'm really excited because I cannot wait to hit this area. So I'm gonna get back with you guys as soon as I get home and see what the day brings. Looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a fireplace.
Yeah, it's a double fireplace.
Oh, it's 2 on it?
Yeah.
Right here and then on the room right here.
Almost every single house here is built like this. Basically, they have one chimney in the front, one chimney in the back, and then this was probably, the whole thing was an add-on at one point in time.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
There's bats why we done that is because they're bats. We're getting in the people's across the street and stuff. What do you call them?
The chimney.
Chimney bats.
Yeah.
And about 50 or 75 of them come out every
Really?
night.
Yeah.
And then it was off there.
But now the roof has been done.
It's fairly new. It's only been on there probably about 5 years. Because it was right before when my stepdad passed away. It's the architectural shingles.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And if you see the stuff in the ceiling in that bedroom right there, the roof is not leaking. Whenever it rains and stuff, it's not leaking.
Yeah.
It was like that whenever they had their roof replaced.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Yeah.
Because if it was still leaking, it'd be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, must
Yes,
be.
sir.
All right, so the day, man, it passed me by quickly. I came home, I made myself some lunch real quick, and then immediately had to run out and go to an appointment. Now, you guys got to see a little bit of the appointment. We ended up negotiating right there on the spot, and we offered her 100,000. Now, I'll give you a little background info on this. So my numbers brought me to that we could offer about 80. Based on some of the beat up houses that had gone for about 80 in the area. And my partner was like, I don't know, man, we're closer to the stadium. This is kind of like a more desired property because of its proximity to the stadium. You could literally see the billboards, the TVs and everything, and it's within walking distance of the stadium. So I went on the hunch and I was like, all right, you know, I'll take my partner's word for it. The lady wanted 110. So I was like, we're a little far off, but we're still close. So in the end, we ended up negotiating it down to 100. The crazy part is, it took a lot of pictures. I'll post a couple real quick, that way you guys can see them. So not too bad. I mean, some updating is needed. Definitely need to do a little bit of work, but as far as the condition of the property, it's pretty good shape. Whoever lived there, they took care of it, made sure that any issues that needed to be addressed were addressed. No, it's probably one of the cleanest houses I've wholesaled in a while. I think there was only one that came close to being this clean, and this one definitely takes the cake. Pretty clean house, and it sold quickly. I was able to sign it within 20 minutes. Called up a few of my buyers that I know like the area, and was able to sell it for 120. So a quick 20K within, what, I would say 2 hours. So this property was a text blast from January the 15th. So I had text blasted an old list that I told you guys that I was actually calling these past couple of weeks. I've been calling it in the middle of the day. And I actually called this property on January the 15th. So from January the 15th till today's January the 21st. So actually 6 days later, not bad. 6 days later, I talked to her. The first time I talked to her was maybe for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. My partner talked to her for another 20 minutes. And then we went out to the property today, about 30 minutes taking pictures. So total we have in on this property is maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And then probably about 10 minutes to sell it. I think it took longer for the pictures to upload than it did for me to actually get an offer for it. Now, of course, I did send it out to a couple of my buyers that I know are consistently buying properties, and they love that area. So they took it up quickly. Now, of course, if you guys are just starting out, it might take a little bit longer, but once you get comfortable with some good buyers, they'll repeat sell to the same people. It never gets old. I mean, there's only like 5 people that really buy off of me all the time, and they're always buying the same stuff that I always put out. If somebody else buys it, it's because I know that they have been wanting something for a while, and I'll hook them up. Because sometimes you will get buyers who be like, look, man, I know that I'm not the highest and best, but hook me up with something, please. And I'll throw something their way that'll make it work for me and them, and see what we could do. Now, as far as driving for dollars today, I picked up actually a little bit less than what I expected. I thought I was going to be around 700. I ended up being around 556 for the day. Still not bad. 556 properties. I quit at like 2 something because I was just tired. And I couldn't really tell where I was going anymore because I had already picked up everything in the main part of the city, but I didn't want to venture out too far outside of the outskirts, because then out in the city limits is where I wanted to stay, because in the outskirts it's unincorporated land. I don't know what I could do with it, and I don't want to try to in an area that's unincorporated because it's not going to really make me money. So that's about it for today. I'm going to see what the numbers are for everything else. Let me check real quick and see how many calls were made today. So today my cold caller, he was pretty decent. He made 407 phone calls. It's about 150 less than what he usually makes, which he definitely needs to get on the grind there. And he had 20 contacts, so about 5% contact rate with the correct owner. It's pretty good. Usually we're at 3%, so 5%. He was calling a new list today. The list has about 700 people in it. And I have a few other new lists that I have pulled lately. So I think a total of 3 that haven't had anything done to it other than phone calls or texts. And then I sent out 2,000 RVMs between yesterday and today. So between yesterday and today, I couldn't really break down how many people actually called just from the RVM line. But total between RVMs, cold calling, and broadcasting, we had about 66 incoming calls, which is pretty decent. If we go to the first of the month, so far I have 326 incoming calls. So I think I'm on point to actually beat my record of incoming calls, which is the highest I've ever gotten is 400 incoming calls in 1 month. Now, the reason why I'm using this metric is Tom Kroll talks about it. You shouldn't worry about anything else. Don't worry about KPIs. Don't worry about how many people you convert. Find out how many deals you did and how many incoming calls did it take to get those deals. Now, of course, you're going to have outbound marketing where you're sending out text messages or sending out, or doing cold calls or whatever it is that you're doing. While those metrics are good too, what I track is outgoing phone calls, outgoing text messages, outgoing ringless voicemails, and what did I get back? How many people did I get back cold calling to call me back or to talk to? How many people did I get with text messaging? And how many people did I get with incoming phone calls? That's kind of like how I have an idea of what I gauged everything by. I think I told you guys last video. So last year, or not last year, from July of last year of 2019 to July of 2020, we averaged about I think it was like $150,000, something like that, $150,000-$200,000. And I broke down what did it take for us to get to that point. Like how many owners did we have to contact cold calling? How many incoming phone calls did we have to get? How many incoming text messages, how many outgoing text messages, how many outgoing RVMs. I kind of broke down a system of what I need to do or where I need to be at. Now, I want to be 3 times those numbers, obviously, because I want to make more money. So the 1,000 phone calls a month that we were making cold calling, now we're at 9,000 to 15,000 sometimes. Well, that's the goal, 15,000, but we're usually around 9 to 10,000. And same thing with RVMs, we're between 2 to 6,000 sometimes. And now text messaging, I think for the month, let me see where I'm at text messaging, because I don't even know where I'm at right now. I think so far we're doing pretty good. So we have 6 days left. Obviously we have more than that, but 6 days of actual work days. I don't work weekends. And so far I have sent out 4,685 text messages and received 1,037 replies or incoming messages. So we're looking at about, let me see what the response rate on that is. So we're looking at about an average of about 22% response rate, which is still pretty decent as well. This is probably one of the months I've sent out a good amount of text messaging, I would say. Something that's been consistent, because some months I do really good, some months I don't. But text messaging has always produced really well for us. And the more we text, the more we contact these people, the better we'll weed out these lists and the less money we'll spend on the other marketing that we do. Now, of course, you always want to use your cheapest marketing first. For me, text messaging is pretty cheap, even though I'd probably spend about $250 this month on text messaging, roughly. It's going to help me out when it comes down to ringless voicemail. So instead of maybe spending $200 on ringless voicemail, maybe I'll spend $150, $100. And while that may not seem like a lot, you get more responses first with text messaging. I mean, that's the reality. A lot of people are going to contact you back because some people don't really like talking on the phone. I've actually seen where we've cold call people and they will, call us and tell us we're not interested, and then you text them and they'll be like, oh, well, I was thinking that 100,000 is what I wanted for the property actually. So that's why we hit everybody with text messaging. Sometimes we flip flop and we'll do, phone calls first. But text messaging has really been where it's at. It's definitely been working out well. So that's it for today, guys. I am tired. I had a very long day, and I want to get ready for tomorrow. We got more text messaging going out. I'm actually going to break down right now and see who I need to text. And just to give you an idea of how I'm recording my text messaging. So how I started at first was I started doing this. This is a couple of weeks back. I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. So I would put the list that I was calling and what I was doing and whatnot, which it got pretty extensive. It's decent, but I didn't really like how it was going, to be honest. I didn't like it. So because when I would go back and look at it, I'm like, I don't know what I did or what I'm doing. And while I've recorded this book I started this marketing book, let me see, July of 2020. So I would break down the results by weeks. Just to give you an example, this is week 1 of July. Incoming calls 50, the second week 64, the third week 61, the fifth week 32, and the last week 56. So I mean, this gave me a good breakdown of what I had coming in. Now, and then for August, we made 2,348 phone calls. Wow, what a complete difference, because now we make 9,000 a month. And in incoming calls, I had 313 for that month. But I sent out 2,200 text messages, and I sent out 3,614 RVMs. Those RVMs are a killer, man. They really bring in a lot of incoming phone calls. And then September sucked, 284 incoming phone calls. October, 312. November, we had 310. And then December, 417. So that's my record right now. I did it like this by color coding it. My marketing plan, you can see right here. Let me see if it'll focus in. It might be too bright. There we go. So it gives you an idea like what I'm doing. So like I color coded text messaging green, RVMs purple, calling orange, and then mail pink. So that way I can kind of like write down what I've sent out, what I got back. My total responses are going to be at the bottom on what the records were for the month. That way I know what I spent on the whole marketing effort. So far I spent about $200 in skip tracing, and I still have like 2 or 3 more lists that I want to skip trace. So hopefully by the end of this month, I want to have at least a little over $2,000 spent on marketing. And I know that while these lists that I pulled, these are all my new lists for the year. So I'm going to hit these lists for the next 3 months. These lists are not going to go away. I might pick up some new lists next month, but it'll be of different areas, not the same areas. So I'm hoping that with what I have skip traced so far, and then the other couple of lists that I'm going to do, and just keep going with the marketing efforts, we're going to go ahead and see how much we can do. And then of course I also have some different marketing flows that I'm doing now, because now what I'm doing is I'm writing down the date, what we're doing with it, who's calling it, what time they're calling it. Are they calling in the AM or the PM? Which is AM is like 11 a.m. and PM is around after 5 o'clock. Also with text messaging, I have some pre-made template that I use. It's absolutely nothing special. It's just, hey, my name is Dan. I passed by your house. Are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Hey, it's me, Dan, again. Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you're the owner of 123 Main Street. Hey, I know I've texted you a couple of times. Are you the owner of 123 Main Street? So it's nothing like, you know, oh my God, you know, it's the key to text messaging. I just made these different templates so that way I know what I hit them with at the time that I hit them. So I'll put in their SMS 1, SMS 2, SMS 3, SMS 4, SMS 5. That way I kind of get an idea of what they got, you know. Same thing with RVMs. I have like 5 different RVMs that I send out. So that's it, guys. I'm wrapping this up. Well, I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you on the next vlog.